Medals, records, and victories don't define a true athlete. What truly sets them apart is the invisible force they carry within, unshakable determination, quiet discipline, and the ability to keep going even when the body aches and the mind hesitates. They are warriors of spirit, forged by repetition and driven by purpose. That's why today I want to introduce you to 3 names that go beyond sport. 3 men who didn't just compete, they taught, inspired, and transformed. An icon of Formula One, a Jiu-Jitsu legend, and a hybrid athlete who embodies daily resilience. This video is about Ayrton Senna, Roger Gracie, and Luke Hopkins. And about what each of them can teach you, not just as a fan, but as someone who wants to grow every single day. Let's begin with someone who is much more than a driver. He is a national hero. A Brazilian legend. The greatest name in the history of Formula One. Ayrton Senna, the unshakable mind. Ayrton Senna wasn't just a fast driver. He's one of the greatest idols in Brazil's history and, for many, the greatest name Formula One has ever seen. His control in the rain seemed superhuman. His focus was unbreakable. But what truly set Senna apart went beyond the steering wheel, it was his mind. He believed in something greater. He raced with his body, yes, but also with his soul. And, above all, with faith. Senna often said that racing was how he connected with God. Every lap on the track was a high-speed prayer. His obsession with detail, with milliseconds, was almost mystical. When it rained, it was as if he found peace where others found fear. And that's what made him a legend. His courage didn't come from a lack of fear, it came from the decision to face it anyway. He inspired people because he showed vulnerability without losing strength. He spoke softly, but lived intensely. He trained like a monk and raced like a warrior. Even in the face of constant danger, because F1 in his time was brutal, he chose to keep going. Senna's message is powerful and clear: true victory begins in the mind. Before speed comes focus. Before the podium comes the silence of preparation. Before fame comes the invisible commitment to daily sacrifice. Senna was far more than a champion. He was a timeless example of courage with purpose. Roger Gracie, the elegance of mastery. Roger Gracie is one of those names you hear once and never forget. Not just because of the legendary Gracie family, who essentially created modern Jiu-Jitsu, but because of what he did with that legacy. Considered by many to be the greatest Jiu-Jitsu competitor of all time, Roger won 10 world titles at black belt, a nearly impossible feat, but what truly made him special was how he won. While many relied on brute strength or flashy moves, Roger kept things simple. He applied the basics with terrifying precision. He dominated his opponents calmly, almost effortlessly, and submitted them with smooth, yet merciless, technique. One of the most iconic moments of his career was his fight against Ronaldo Jacare Souza. During the match, Roger broke Jacare's arm with an arm lock. But Jacare, in an epic act of resistance, refused to tap. He continued until the end, his arm hanging, merely avoiding further attacks. Even though the official win went to Jacare, it was Roger who walked away as the master of that battle. His technique was so clean, so perfect, that there was no doubt, he was the superior fighter. Off the mats, Roger always appeared calm, balanced, almost zen. He spoke little but said much through his actions. He believed that ego was the greatest enemy of a fighter, and in truth, of anyone pursuing excellence. For Roger, the secret wasn't to look strong, but to be strong. Not to show dominance, but to live it through truth and technical mastery. That's why he teaches us one of the most powerful lessons of all: true strength lies in serenity. When you control your mind, you control the world. When you are whole in silence, the noise around you doesn't matter. Roger Gracie is more than a champion, he is living proof that the essential, when mastered, always beats the excessive. Luke Hopkins, The Discipline of the Impossible. Luke Hopkins might not be as famous as Senna or Roger. But he may be the closest to what any of us can become, with enough effort. Luke is a hybrid athlete, fully dedicated to triathlon. And more than just competing, he lives for it. His routine is almost military, waking up early, training hard, eating with discipline, sleeping with strategy. He's not chasing applause or fame. He's chasing consistency. And that makes him dangerous. Luke represents the kind of person who doesn't negotiate with his own mind. If the alarm rings at 4:30 a.m., he gets up. If the day's workout is brutal, he goes anyway. If he's tired, he still shows up. He doesn't rely on motivation, he thrives on habit. For Luke, every workout is a vote of confidence in the future he's building. Every choice he makes now is a brick in the wall of his mental toughness. What's most impressive is that nothing about him seems miraculous. Luke wasn't born with supernatural talent. What he has is ferocious discipline and unbreakable patience to repeat, until what once seemed hard becomes second nature. That's why his lesson hits so hard: you don't need to be gifted. You need to be consistent. You need to repeat the basics when no one is watching. Train in silence. Suffer in peace. Win internally before you ever win on the outside. Luke Hopkins is living proof that the impossible becomes possible when you commit to it every single day. Inspiration for the hard days. Senna teaches you faith and focus. Roger teaches you calm, precision, and deadliness. Luke shows you that the impossible is just a matter of daily repetition. Each of them lived, or lives, in a different world, with different routines, different sports, and different stories. But they all share one thing: the decision to win for real. Not just in competition, but within themselves. These three athletes weren't born on different planets. They are human. Just like you and me. But they made a choice that few make: they chose to go deeper. To suffer more, to fail more, to train more, to think more. And that's why they win more. The life you want isn't built on chance, it's built on the disciplined repetition of small actions. If you want to change your life, start with the mindset of an athlete. Start with faith like Senna, with mastery like Roger, and with discipline like Luke. Let them guide you on your good days, and especially on your hard ones. Because that's when real transformation begins.